You can watch SeemsGoodMagic.com team members live stream at www.twitch.tv/Inez27. If you enjoy our videos, you can support us by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on eBay store, and purchasing some singles or playsets. Thanks and enjoy. Hey, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here with another 8-4 Gatecrash draft. Biovisionary is the rare, and it is not the pick. I believe we're just doing Orzhov Charm. It's definitely the strongest card in this pack. Burning Tree Emissary is pretty good, but it doesn't feel... I don't feel justified in picking this over the Orzhov Charm. There's also Zertos Swine, which is good. This pack's not super deep. It's pretty much Orzhov Charm, Burning Tree Emissary, Ivy Lane Denizen, Zertos Swine. So we are going to be passing a Gruul signal a little bit, but I'm happy to take an Orzhov Charm there. Oh, wow. Well, now we get a pick. Stolen Identity, which is probably just, in my opinion, strongest rare you can get, or at least one of them. It's also Truefire Paladin, which is insanely strong. Another Zertos Swine, more Angelic Edict. I think we take the Stolen Identity. This card can just straight up take games over. It's only a second pick. We could still be Dimir, Orzhov, so options are open. I mean, I could also technically do Boros, Orzhov, and pick the Truefire, but I don't know. Stolen Identity, something about it. Something about that Stolen Identity does it for me every time. Okay, here, a third Zertos Swine. My God. Alright, there's also Glaring Spotlight, which is good anti-removal. Hands of Binding, which is good Cipher. Dimir Guildgate, help us fix a little bit. It's probably a little bit too early for the Guildgate. I don't mind taking the Hands of Binding here. I think out of these two cards, the Stolen Identity is stronger, so if I can build towards one, I guess it's probably smarter to build towards the Stolen Identity. I like Hands of Binding enough. Just need to get some flyers, and then we can... There we go. There's a good one. Alright, here we're going to take the Call the Nightwing, which gives us an evasive guy to cipher onto. Ciphers onto itself. Can Hands of Binding it. There's another one. Yeah, we're going to take Call the Nightwing. So it looks like we've dedicated ourselves to Dimir quite a bit at this point, but that's a relatively late Drakewing Krasis. I might just take that because it flies, and then do Dimir Simic, which is also good. I mean, this card is one of the best Simic cards. So that makes sense to me. Okay, got a late Rapid Hybridization. That's a good sign that we're exploring the right colors here, so I'll happily take that. Alright, here's a good pick for us. We're going to take the, well, I guess we could technically take the Nimbus Swimmer, but I think it makes more sense to take the Metropolis Sprite. Just make sure that we're in blue, more likely in Dimir, but I guess we could also just be in Simic. We're kind of waxing and waning in between some colors right now. I mean, this is certainly overall stronger for Simic, but I think getting the 2-drop that wears the Hands of Binding probably makes a little more sense. Nimbus Swimmer is a good finisher, and we may not be Simic. I think that's kind of my main thing here. Alright, we could take the Guildgate over the Basilica Guard, which we're not likely playing, and over the Spell Rupture, which we could play, but it's not looking that great right now, and the Executioner Swing. Yeah, let's just take the Simic Guildgate. Let's get a little fixing going on. Alright, I think I feel comfortable taking the Biovisionary here instead of the Beckon Apparition. I don't really like clinging anemones all that much. And actually, Biovisionary works with Stolen Identity, as hilarious as that is. Alright, we'll take Incursion Specialist here. This works pretty well with Cipher cards. Glaring Spotlight's actually a strong spell. Certainly stronger than the rest of these for us. Alright, we'll take the Key Rune here pretty happily. So it looks like we're Simic, but still could be Dimir as well. We're just not sure yet. Most likely not playing the Orzhov Charm, but I'll leave it in for now. Okay, so pretty good choice here. We've got Biomass Mutation, which basically makes all your guys huge for a turn. But I think we just want the Krasis. It's evasive, which is perfect for our Cipher cards. It good blocker. It's pretty much everything you want in Simic. So I think we're taking that. Makes more sense to me. Alright, the choice here, not too much of a choice. We're just going to take Croconura over the Sprite, the Slaughterhorn, and the Guildgate. Most likely we wheel one of those cards, so that's the good news, because this is a pretty deep pack. But Croconura is just one of the best you can get in Simic. Alright, we can take the Greenside Watcher, get a 2-drop. I'm not opposed to that. Could also take the Verdant Haven, which would help with a black splash or a white splash, but not sure that's necessary yet. Another Zertos Wine, which is crazy. I guess this guy's unblockable, which is technically good with the Cipher as well, but I think I'd rather have the potential ramp element plus the 2-drop creature. Makes a little more sense to me. Alright, here we're going to, I think, just take slam another Drakewing over this Flux Mage, over the Hands of Binding, over the Charger and Watcher. If you can get as many, you can get as many of these as you can handle. This card is just awesome. Awesome with Stolen Identity as well. Okay, we can take Burst of Strength, which I think is perfectly fine with us. So I think I'm just going to take that. It's also Prism, which I guess would make the Call the Nightwing splash a little bit more realistic. But we don't have to splash yet, and Burst of Strength is actually a good Simic trick. Alright, here, Charger versus Snapjaw. I think we just want the Charger. It pretty much evolves everything we have, and we don't even have that much evolve, and it blocks the ground better than the Snapjaw, so makes sense to me. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Whoops! No, I wanted the Charger, and I picked the Snapjaw, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I guess I take the Death Cult Rogue here. It's pretty evasive, and we're definitely blue. Wow, that's a really late Kingpin's Pet, so I think I'm just going to hate that, because I'm not really playing any of these other cards. I guess I could splash for Shadow Slice, but it does not sound that appealing to me. Alright, we can definitely play Biomass Mutation. I mean, this card just basically makes your guys huge. We're not really passing much, totally lost. Which I guess is actually reasonable in our deck, but those tend to go later. I mean, this is a rare, so it's kind of a premium. You don't get a lot of opportunities to grab a card like that. Alright, definitely take another Guildgate. Could get another Watcher as well, which would be nice. Alright, we're going to take the Rogue over the Way of the Thief. Makes more sense to me. I think we actually need the Anemones. This is cool and all, but we're a little bit short on creatures. And we will actually need some blockers if we're planning on flying over. I guess none of these either. None of those really matter. We don't really care if our opponents play the Corpse Blockade. It's not that good against us. Hydroform's not that good of a card. Alright, so I think we're pretty dedicated just Simic at this point. It's probably not worth our time to splash. This is 19 playables. How many evasive guys do we currently have? We got Specialist Sprite, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have tons of guys that just get by. It's pretty awesome. Alright, Sylvan Primordial is a pretty awesome card. It's probably worth paying 7 mana for. Could just pick up another sprite, though. I think we are sort of the flight plan. The flyover plan. Sylvan Primordial is a pretty powerful card. Does get to destroy a land, but we already have a good enough late game plan. I think we're kind of playing into the biomass mutation. Get enough flyers or invasive guys online, just finish them off with that. That might be worth our time, actually. So I think I want the sprite, just another 2-drop. Yeah. Okay. Here, I think we're just taking the Krakenura, picking up another one, happily. The sprite does not evolve the Krakenura, but a lot of our other things do, so it's perfectly fine. Yeah, we're just going to take the Krakenura here. Pretty good Boros cards in there. Okay, second Hands of Binding versus second Death Cult Rogue, another Glaring Spotlight. Nimbus Swimmer is an excellent finisher. And it flies and evolves stuff. I might just want the Swimmer. Second Hands of Binding does feel pretty good, but we're still... And actually, second Death Cult Rogue feels pretty good, too. I guess I actually need more creatures, because some of the creatures I'm running are a little bit crappy. So I'd rather upgrade my creatures a little bit. Let's take the... I think I like the Nimbus Swimmer more than the Death Cult Rogue. It has more potential. Alright, taking another Metropolis Sprite pretty happily. Don't mind playing those guys. Alright, definitely taking Pit Fight here. That's like... Really happy we got that, because... It's one of my favorite removal spells. Okay, so now we have, I think we're just taking another Hands of Binding. Feels pretty justified with all the flight and guys that can't get blocked. Way of the Thief, we have 2 Guild Gates. Yeah, it's playable. It's probably, I think it's pretty unnecessary in here. So maybe we just want to hate the best card, which might actually be the Hellraiser Goblin against us, because a lot of our guys are good attackers but not blockers. So that haste could actually be annoying. Gridlock's usually pretty good, but I want some more cheap creatures. I think Sage's Road Denizen is going to be really good because most of our creatures are blue, but beyond that, 3 toughness is sort of the magic number. So I just want to make sure I'm loaded, and it evolves like everything. So actually, how much evolve do we have? Just 2 Krakenuras and Elusive Crisis. I guess that's not that much, but still. 3 toughness is the magic number. And you can go infinite with a Keymaster Rogue or something. Gridlock's pretty good, but I don't like it as much in this type of build. It's better when you have a lot of guys that don't evade already. Like, this looks like a deck that's mostly just going to race people out. Like, we have good blockers on the ground, good flyers, and then a couple tricks to, like, keep them off when we can eventually beat them down. We may not even need to play the Glaring Spotlight. Guess, I don't know. It's a late Guild Mage. Guess we could sideboard into that. Yeah, I want to play the Biomass Mutation. Triple Metropolis Sprite is definitely a reason to do that. This deck looks really good. This deck looks really strong. Let's see, currently 26 playables. Let's cut the Clinging Anemones. I think that card's not worth my time. 3 Hands of Binding? Yeah, why not? Let's go deep on that Hands of Binding plan. Forced Adaptation's probably playable, but probably don't need it in here. Maybe we don't need the Snapjaw per se. This is a sideboardable card. Works reasonably well with Sage's Road Denizen. Last Thoughts could actually be played in here too, but I think we're good with the Stolen Identity and triple Hands of Binding. So I do need to make some cuts, but we may be, honestly, I'm not opposed to going 16 land. We already have the Key Rune, we're only 2 color, and our mana sinks are Biomass Mutation and Nimbus Swimmer. both of which don't need you to have a million mana to be good. And I guess these guys are kind of mana sinks too, so I don't know, we'll see. I think we can actually keep our curve super low, which is going to motivate me to want to run 16 lands, but let's take a look. Because I've got the 2 guild gates and the Watcher and the key rune. That to me is probably enough where I could get away with 16 lands, and this is 24 cards too, so I could run 16 lands. I mean, technically, if we played these at 5 mana, they would be a 3/3 and make all our guys 3/3. So I guess that's not that great. So maybe I do want 17 lands. What are my mana sinks again? These guys sort of, but not really. Just these two. All right, if it's just 2 spells, then I think I'm going to run 16 lands. I'm going to settle on that. Look how many 2 and 3 drops we have. I think it's just a better idea for us. We really want to just outvalue them, and the only way to really outvalue them is make sure that we're not getting super flooded, because we pretty much can do everything we want to once we have 3 mana. So that's how I'm going to run it, and we're definitely more blue than green, which I think is fine. Let's put in these guild gates. Don't need any black. Can we do, what, 7? No, that's not right. Maybe we want 7/7 still. I guess we definitely need blue earlier than we need green, but they're both pretty important. I guess we can do 8/6, because then we still have 8 green sources and 10 blue sources. We're not super color intensive either way. I guess this needs more blue too. Let's go 10/8. I think that's fine. We got the key rune too. We need blue earlier. All right. So I'll run it like this. This deck looks pretty good. Like I said, we have a lot of flyers. We've got a good late game plan. Where does Stolen Identity work best? Probably copying a Drakewing. Copying Keymaster Rogue is actually a little bit awkward, since you have to keep bouncing creatures. Copying Sage's Road Denizen is pretty good. Copying Nimbus Swimmer is not bad, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it copies it at 0, actually. I think it does. So maybe we don't have as many good targets for Stolen Identity as we'd like, but I mean, it works well with everything. Works well with Metropolis Sprite, works well with Krasis, Croconuri, it's fine. Death Cult Rogue, it's good. Denizen, it's good. There's enough. I mean, technically, you could copy a Keyrune creature, too. Get a 2/3 hexproof dude. But that's probably unnecessary. Okay. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's run it like this.